What's up, everyone? Make sure you check out the West West Network website at westwestnet.com. Here you can find amazing independent podcasts based in Aotearoa, covering everything from pop culture to mental health. Also, if you enjoy our content and want to support us, please consider clicking on the support button on the homepage of the website. We appreciate your patronage and look forward to delivering more thought-provoking and quality conversations.
West, y'all.
I love your t-shirt. Got there. You got on.
Old school, blood and blood. Also.
I
But I was
man.
panicking. Hey, I was thinking, "Well, what should I wear tonight?" I was panicking. Maximus tee or a Nike Hustle tee. I think, you know what? I'm just going to go with old school. Old
This
school.
OG shit.
It took you guys a while to actually react to it. But,
Nah, really, we were talking before we got on the mics. For a good half an hour. And I noticed your t-shirt when you first walked in. And I thought to myself, this is going to be a good opening to discuss your t-shirt, man. But what a movie, bro? What a movie.
it made us, didn't it? Hey, the Vatos Locos. Hey,
What are the names? Mikolo? What are the actor?
oh, you're Cinderella.
What's the other one? Oh. What are the
There's Buckle.
Buckle, yes. Just so many cool characters. That's all. So many cool characters.
Is there a
So many cool characters.
Chumcho?
Oh, there might be another movie. There might be the Three Amigos.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I think that must be an action. Was that an action movie?
Need to fact check that one anyway.
But you're
But-
right though, Cam. Yeah, awesome movie, old school. Yeah, a couple of other oldies as well. Boys in the Hood and New Jack City and a couple of old ones, So
Oh, those are classics, man. Back in our days, man. Early 90s, those are the movies to watch. But
Yeah.
Blood and Blood Out, man. That I don't know how much of impact that movie had on our people, man. On, our mates and the guys we grew up with at school. And it's like, I don't know, all of a sudden, people are talking in Spanish. Eh?
Yeah. Vatos locos,
the long white tees and the Dickies pants and the
Yeah.
chucks and the swag.
Bandanas.
And hard out.
It's funny because when I think I had this conversation with when Lappy came on the podcast, we were talking about back in the 90s what we were into. Pop culture was strong, especially American pop culture, especially Black American, African American culture, Latino culture with Blood and Blood Out, American Me, those kind of movies.
Oh.
And even the music too was like hip hop was G-Funk,
Ice-T, Ice Cube.
that kind of stuff. Like Polynesian culture really came into the popular scene probably at the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
And we identified, what's Lappy's group? Fuck, I should know. Jamo Jam, when they came out, probably the first time you ever saw Polynesian flavor music come into the pop culture side of things there. Because before that, we were hard out into, those
The American pop.
American stuff.
Yeah.
Blood and Boys in the Hood,
Yep.
Tupac,
Yep.
Biggie, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't until Jamal and Jam come out and they put the Polys on the map.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we started following their flow and how they did things, and they made us stand on our own 2 feet and go, well, you know what? Yeah, there's room for the Samoan, the Tongan, the Fijian culture, and be yourself and express yourself, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you guys noticed my tea. I've been sitting there for a while. It's probably sweating for a while here.
Even
that's classic.
I remember at school, like when you get in trouble. I remember the classic line when you get in trouble at school, because I'm black, gamers. Because I'm black. Because the word black, for the longest time, I never understood why people were saying black. Because we're brown,
Yeah.
and I never understood why we're saying we're black. I know because we've been watching those movies,
Yeah.
but I didn't get we're brown. We're not even black. Brown didn't be popular after Jamal Jam, and then the whole movement of Polynesian culture started
Yeah.
in early 2000s, late 90s it started, early 2000s. Then there's been an explosion of Polynesian hip hop music, and R&B music and stuff like that, Eddies and all that kind of stuff. I think Second Sub Pacifica first came out and started putting all the stories in, and now we had an identity.
Yeah, hard out.
Now we can say we're brown. We
Yeah.
don't say we're black anymore.
Yeah, so true, bro.
Yeah.
But how much did American influence have on us prior to that, though?
A lot.
Wow. But now, moving with the times, hey, be proud, stand up, be proud and represent.
Well, there's
So cool.
famous Polynesian celebrities, sports, entertainers that are out there representing, like, for example, Joseph Parker on the weekend. What, did you guys see his fight?
I didn't see his fight, bro, but I saw the highlights.
I've never been so proud of Cam.
Yeah.
He's what a difference a new coach and a new training camp under Tyson Fury. He looks deadly. I do, and I guess, where there's always going to be a question, maybe one or two things. Like he looks good, man. He looks sharp, and his punches are throwing with a lot of precision. But just as back end of the fight, just his conditioning, I thought that he leaned quite a bit. Like he was all over him, and he was up on the cards and stuff. But if he's looking to fight the U6 and those deadly Ukraines, then I think his conditioning needs to increase. But man, I was fighting in the ring with him every time. I couldn't have been more prouder, especially him leaving his family and going over and changing camp and parting ways with Kevin Barry. That wouldn't have been easy. That would have played on his mind a lot, changing new voice, new atmosphere, new training, different types of work ethic. But he handled it like a pro, and that was so cool. And even David Nika on the undercards, that was awesome. Yeah, it was a good day to be a proud Samoan and a Kiwi too on Sunday. That was awesome.
It's interesting. A lot of the because I didn't watch the fight, but a lot of the feedback on the boys on the chat was like, or even on social media, we haven't seen Parker fight this way in a long time. And there was a few comments saying, "Oh, fuck Kevin Barry," like, because he's gone. We just mentioned his new coaching team of it's Tyson Fury's coaching team, same coaching team.
Yeah,
it's cool how just that one little change made a big difference. It seems.
Man, well, Tyson Fury's on top of his game, and
he's like the world champ.
Yeah, and he's taken Parker, and he didn't have to. And questions have to be asked why. Maybe he sees something in him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he sees him as a threat. But for Parker's longevity and his future in the fight game, man, he looked good. And he looked sharp, and I was really happy. I watched a doco about his wife and his parents and his kids watching him go. Daddy's off to work. He's got to go overseas. He's a million miles away, but he's doing his thing. And for him to come out on top on Sunday, it just added the cherry on the cake for him, and it's cool. Him and his family are going to have a nice Christmas, and it was awesome. But like I said, proud day to be a Kiwi and more so Samoan. So it was me.
Did they announce the next fight for him? Or?
They did. I forgot. It was I don't know. I haven't been sort of keeping up with the heavyweight division, but it was an unnamed guy that I've never heard of before. So it's looking pretty good. Chisora, and unfortunately, his heavyweight dreams have been shattered because he drops down and he probably won't feature in the top 10 again. So it'll take him a while to get back up there. I'm not too sure which way he goes, but things are looking good for Parker. So yeah, they're looking at another fight April, May.
Oh yeah. Of course, there was the other fight, the Jake Paul one. Did you see that one? What's the story of that guy? Because he's not even a fighter, eh?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber or something. But
so is this all just exhibition matches he's been fighting?
Oh, but Woodley, he's no thug.
No, yeah.
He's no thug.
He just got caught, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he got more than that, man.
He got lights up.
Knocked out into the new year.
I was watching on Facebook. There was a I forgot what it was, where they were saying something like if he win or lose, he was still walking away with $500,000. Did you see any of that?
Who was that of?
I saw it on Facebook somewhere where if Tyron Woodley won or lost, he still would walk away with $500,000. So, but then there could be, because the knockout he got knocked out with, that was sleep, man.
I guess when you're fighting unknown fighters or novice fighters, the real fighters can probably talk a bit of a price and what they want. But the Paul brothers, even the other one there fought Mayweather, I don't know. Is boxing becoming a fast in that now? You know, any sort of any YouTubers?
Yeah.
You know, can get in the ring with anybody now these days, or
He's calling out all the UFC fighters, and even Dana White, that Jake Paul.
I don't know. I'm not too sure which way it's going, but yeah, as far as I'm good entertainment.
Yeah.
Good entertainment, and good on them, you know. And it's just going to up their game, man. Look out, watch this space, because who are they going to get in the ring next with? Maybe a Tyson, maybe, or
That'll be
or a rematch with Mayweather, or both Paul brothers. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, because he was the one that knocked out Nate Robinson.
Yeah, clean. Hey, poor dude. Damn.
It was a similar deal with Mayweather. Eh? Like, win or lose, you're still gonna get the
purse.
Gonna get paid.
Well, he didn't really need to. He didn't really need to step in the ring. I'm glad he won. But that Paul, he didn't look out of place. You know, he stood strong.
He was there.
They're big, strong boys. So they obviously, and they know their way around the ring a little bit. But where to now? I don't know. I guess that's the powers to be to sort out who's on the fight cards next. But
it's quite interesting, the whole exhibition matches now coming up, being popular now, and being a real moneymaker, thing for these retired or near end of their career fighters to fight a YouTube dude. And it's a real spectacular thing. It's it's a spectacle, and you get the millions of fans watching.
Which is a good point. I mean, I guess it has to be on a major draw card on its own. Would you go and watch Paul against Woodley? Probably not.
No,
if that's the biggest draw card, maybe not.
I know they had Darren Williams. He fought on that against
he won
against the ex-NFL.
He's another NFL or B-ball.
No, so Darren Williams in NBA.
NBA, yes,
he played for Jazz.
That's
but,
right.
He fought against the NFL guy, and Darren Williams won.
Wow.
So it's I guess it's what the people want.
Yeah,
they want to see this
entertainment,
and it's funny how it parallels the professional game, and everyone. I don't know how they want to feel about it. Like, that's not boxing, or I don't know if they think that, but. But it's what the people want.
Were both of them? Are they still playing now? The NBA and the
Nah.
Oh, they're not playing. Oh, okay.
Nah. What about I was watching on Sky, December the 22nd. They got the Gallon and Zalasic, and then Joey Leilua's fighting.
Oh yeah, Hyington. Eh?
Oh,
yeah.
I saw that. The press conference. That's why you're on the bench. Eh?
I saw that too.
Your days are gone past. They're past. Eh? Wow.
And didn't he say you haven't done anything? And he said, "Oh yeah, I won 2 grand finals."
Yeah.
And Leilua was like, "Yeah." But did you?
He got no MOE.
Come on, mate.
Leilua can be a mean player, man. He would have had a really good legacy if he just didn't let his fists fly. Eh? He was deadly, man, at the Raiders.
I think the West didn't re-sign him or something. That's when I was watching a bit of an interview where he went into depression, like because West didn't re-sign him or whoever didn't re-sign him,
West.
And then he had nothing. Like, what was he gonna do for the That's why and then someone called him. Hey, do you want to do some boxing? And then he just
why not? As soon as
see, obviously he didn't have a backup plan. If
well, it's kind of hard because he was playing alongside his brother. His brother plays in the forwards for Wests. So there's 2 of them, and now I think his brother's been signed. Good money too.
The younger brother.
Yeah. Luciano, I think his name is.
Yeah. But see, like that tells you something. Like if you're a hothead, on the field and
that's always been that's always been the thing about him. He informed centre back in a couple of seasons ago. Him and Rapana, the Kiwi winger, they formed a deadly combination for the Raiders, and then he's sort of just fallen from grace from there. His discipline issues. He's always in the judiciary.
Yeah.
In court.
Yeah. Yeah, so that fight's coming up soon.
Oh, nice. Those leagues are good. Gallon's a beast.
Yeah, he's, man.
You can tell he loves boxing, that guy.
He's made for it.
He's been in all the fights.
Yeah, man, he doesn't care. Yeah, exactly.
He wants to go on
all
again.
The state of all the state of origins, eh?
Oh, for that stink team, eh?
Are you a New South supporter?
No, so sorry.
Yeah.
I think we're going to aim for that 8 in a row to match Queensland, eh?
Oh, you let me know when that's going to start.
It's yeah. I know Zaya was here. He would talk about his Bulldogs. I mean, he never talks about his Bulldogs because they're always on the bottom of the table, bottom half of the table. But I don't know. It seems like it's going to change in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
with their
they've
signings.
they've recruited really well.
Mm.
Yeah, and I heard, they got some pretty tough preseason games, but I've seen a couple of their preseason trainings. Looks pretty good. They've recruited quite well. So hey, every team looks good at this time of the year. Eh? Just depends on how the preseason games go. So
yeah,
I hope the doggies do well.
Who's your team you support in there right now?
I'm a Raiders fan.
Oh,
always,
okay.
back in the days, I'm a Raiders fan. Mal Meninga, Ricky Stewart. Yeah, I'm a
Legends.
Jacob Ferguson, Bradley Clyde.
Yeah.
Laurie Daly. So yeah,
Nagus.
Yeah,
Mullins.
fullback Mullins. Raiders fan, and then obviously a Queensland. Back in the day, so they're the only two teams. I support the Warriors too, and I hope they do well. I hope they do well every year. You know, they've always had their battles, especially last few seasons being based in Oz. Any Kiwi team that's been based in Oz is going to be a tough ask. You obviously got the Breakers, and then Wellington Phoenix.
I made a controversial post earlier this year about the Warriors moving to Australia and being a team in Australia, like someone from a town from Australia buying the Warriors and putting them over there. Because I think that's the only way they can probably
compete.
Yeah. Like in terms of getting players, you know.
Hard out. And just being in amongst their mindset, the training ethic, the atmosphere, their environment. Because we've been in the comp for a while now, you know, and other than a couple of seasons we've been knocking on the door, but recently, and no disrespect to any of them, coaching staff or the players, no one goes out and loses on purpose. But those Aussie boys are a different breed of league players. Their mentality, the way they hold themselves and carry themselves, their trainings, their nutrition. You might see a couple of boys in the papers and the news for the wrong reasons, but not very many of them. They're all quite serious about their trainings. I'm not bagging the Warriors, but yeah, you're right, Cam. Hey, why not? Put them over there. And I mean, I know it's hard to be away from your loved ones, but now they're taking over some family over there, and you're posting them over there in a community now, Warriors-based type community. But
yeah, because I felt like if they wanted to sign some marquee players, those marquee players, New Zealand, I don't want to move my family.
No,
over there,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Because if you think about it, you're on the plane every second week.
Yeah,
every
You're always travelling.
where's the fun in that?
You know, you're gonna buy a house down here. You're gonna set up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it works for like Steve Price. He does. I think he's still here.
Yeah,
he
I think
stayed
so.
here.
Yeah.
But you know, other players that come over and they have to set up but you know, you try to get one of these Sterogen players, used to play for Melbourne Storm or some of these top teams. Prospect of moving to New Zealand, their whole family, and doing the whole travel, that whole thing.
Yeah,
might be a bit too much.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know, you're gonna cut yourself out a lot of the market
for
these marquee players. You know,
huge, massive change in their lifestyle.
Yeah,
but you're right. If they're going to be based in Aussie for that season, hey, it could be a different selling point. You know.
Yeah. Because the other thing against rugby league is because obviously New Zealand's a rugby union, you know, rugby union country.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another factor against rugby league in New Zealand. But I would love to see New Zealand rugby league get some traction and getting a proper televised league. Well,
they've done their dues.
You know,
they give them some props now, but it's just the nature of the beast now. Hey, rugby is. I mean, look, as long as players like Tubasa Shek is going to make the switch, then you get players like Vunivalu from the Storm, who was on top of this game, the big winger. Now he's gone over to Queensland. It's going to always be hard to compete with the rugby. Money, contracts, the travel. So it's an interesting one, Cam. I think the Warriors are due for some good things, and let's hope that 2022 is their season. Be interesting to see how many diehard Warrior fans are going to be still on that bandwagon. Eh?
Yeah, I hope they do well, even though I don't support them.
Who are you, Cam?
Manly Seagulls.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Next question, just carry on.
It's funny. I spoke about this before. My team, man. I was that team when when Matthew Ridge moved over there, and
wow, ever since then,
man.
Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah, Jeff Tuvey.
Nice.
Lions.
But that was a team back in the Winfield Cup days, along with the Bulldogs, strong in Balmain Tigers. strong New Zealand connection.
Yeah.
A lot of Kiwis playing in
Yeah,
these teams.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so if you're into like rugby league back in those days, you know, you would support these teams. You know,
Big time.
The
because
Kiwis are playing in
Kiwis
the
are
Hard
playing,
out.
you know,
And you're so right, and that's why I still support the Raiders because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
their battles they had with the Balmain Tigers, with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mallee Seagulls,
Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, I don't know. It's hard, I guess. And we were talking about millennials before, their way of thinking. It's just we're just old school.
Yeah.
You know, we're old school. The Malmaningas, and they don't make them like they used to, you know. And it's just, and these guys didn't have all the big contracts. They didn't have all the nutritionists and the mental coaching, and you know, they might have had to pull in some hours a day at work, you know. But this day and age, there's a lot of money on the table, and players got so much on their hands.
The
It's
well
just-
looked after now.
Yeah, well, that's right.
and then the Warriors started, the Auckland Warriors, and I was a fan of the Auckland Warriors because it's Auckland's team.
Well,
Yeah.
Auckland's team was a new concept. We've got
New
a Kiwi
concept,
team in there,
yeah.
you know, and we know we know these players that are in that team.
Yeah.
The Stacey Jones and the Mark Grahams and the Dwayne Manns and
And you know me, man, I'm Auckland hard, man. That's why I love any team that comes out of Auckland.
Yeah.
Represents Auckland.
Blues.
This is my city, man.
Yeah.
You know,
hard.
I'm from West Auckland. Auckland's my city. Whatever team comes out of here, I'll support. You know. So I love the Auckland Warriors until they changed the name to New Zealand Warriors. And that's when I moved back to Manly. I did not agree with the whole. I get it was all the marketing thing, like you want to get all New Zealand on your side.
Yeah.
And that's why I was all for a second New Zealand team in the NRL before they came up with the Dolphins. What's the new Dolphins
Yeah,
team?
Redcliffe, eh?
Redcliffe,
yeah.
Redcliffe Dolphins.
Yep.
Because for a long time it was supposed to be like maybe a team from Christchurch or Wellington.
Yeah.
Or Wellington was in the mix, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was hoping for that day because then Warriors would be Auckland Warriors again. You know?
Yeah, hard out.
But
But they've changed the name to New Zealand Warriors, New Zealand Breakers. So some of those teams that are playing in the Aussie have changed their name to New Zealand because we've only got the one team. And maybe
Yeah.
you're right, it gets a little bit more traction, a bit more sponsorship, a bit more
Yeah.
compare, you know, so
Yeah.
which is,
you get people in other cities wearing your jersey rather than Auckland, you know?
yeah.
They won't be left out.
No, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Well, New Zealand encompasses the whole, eh? So.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, man. So what's also interesting is your year, your club rugby season, man. The College Rifles, man. You guys were on top of the table for
We were, Cam.
like we ended up second under Ponsonby.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were. Yeah, we had a blast. We had some fun. And
You guys only lost 2 games.
We did. We went all the way through on top, and then it wasn't until our last few games we sort of saved our worst performance for last in our round robin, Grammar, and then in our semi. So we played Grammar, and they touched us up at their grounds out of Mission Bay,
Oh yeah.
and then we played Grammar again at home at our grounds the following in the semi. And we lost by 1 point. We lost on full time, you know, and it was just, it's still a bitter pill to swallow now, also, you know, because I'm only one piece of the puzzle, but just the work, the time, the effort that went into it, the boys, the sacrifices they made, and you know, a lot of clubs would have done that, but just this season it was, there was something special in there for us, and for us to fall at the end there was heartbreaking. Especially for a lot of players that have come a long way and developed their skills and left work early, sacrificed overtime, sacrificed family time. It was hard. It was hard to take. But hey, those are rugbies. That's all the learnings. And so Grammar went on to play Eden in the final, and I'm just quietly thankful that Eden won.
That was a good story, eh? Like they haven't won since 99 years.
Yeah, a long time. So one of
that.
my good mates is the forwards coach for Eden, and
yeah.
I was supporting him the whole time. And he's had his issues over the last few years, and me being a lot older, he's always been texting and ringing and asking for some thoughts and ideas on how to coach his group of guys and what I would do in this sort of in these areas here, and for him to come out on top was huge. And I'm so happy for him. You know, really, yeah. And even when he won, he was just humble enough to send me a text and just say, "Man, Mans, thank you so much for
Wow.
And
Yeah.
for him to do that, that's class.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. You can't coach it. If that was me, I would be enjoying myself. Stuff you guys, man. I did it on my own. So that was awesome.
They're a team that came up and I think they were 4th place, which they just made the semis. Eh?
They did just make the semis.
And
they
won the
upset-
semis and won the final.
They
Yeah.
upset ponies, and that was that's a dream story. That's a Cinderella story coming from, and no one backed them. And that's the danger. Is you don't no one backs the underdogs, which is you see grandma every day of the week. Grandma will win, and for them to just believe in those guys and don't worry about what's happening on the outside. Don't listen to any of the. And they backed themselves and they came out on top. It was cool. It was awesome.
What was the secret to their success, do you reckon? Like this year, was it the players they had? Or did they have a build up on players previous years that led to this year? Or?
I think it was, it's been building over the last couple of years from what I've seen from the outside in, and having chats with their forwards coach. I think having 2 guys that have played for Eden and fought hard and knows what it feels like to wear the jersey makes a big difference, because your players are going to follow you. And when you talk anything about Eden, they can resonate, they can listen, and they'll run into a brick wall for you. And that's probably one of the things that probably doesn't hit strongly for me. I've never worn a Rifles jersey. I've always been a Watermatta man. But my passion will show it on the coaching, and I hope that whenever I speak and talk and encourage and motivate, that these boys will go out there and play hard for themselves and for the jersey. And I think that's what Eden just had. 32 guys that just believed in the cause for them, and thankfully enough, they came out on top. It was awesome. And having 2 coaches that are past players, I believe, makes a big difference. And that's probably one area that I need to work on and that's what I've understanding the Rifles crest, understanding the area, understanding the people around me, understanding the members, the life members, walking into the changing rooms, walking into the club rooms, and you see all the older men come over and talk to you and talk your ear off, whether you win or lose, and I welcome that, because I'm not a Rifles man, but I want to learn. I want to know what the star represents. I want to know what the area represents. I want to know why Rifles is the colours that they are. I want to know the sponsors. I want to know, I might not like the answers, but they see this island guy coaching their team. Yeah. It's predominantly been over the years Balangi, I've got to show face. I've got to back these guys. They've been good to me. It's my 3rd year this year. We have some really good results over the last few years, and I've got one more year next year, and I'm all in, and we'll see how we go next year. So so far so good. Pre-season's been good. We've had some boxing sessions, some skill sessions on a Monday. I had some positive conversations with a lot of the boys that are coming back. We're going to lose a couple, but that's just the nature of the beast. Every team, 16 teams are fighting for. Like I said before, COVID. No players have been signed. No one's signed to here and here. We're not a professional outfit, so every player is free game. And hey, I just believe in my coaching style. And if you don't enjoy it, then I back you, and I wish you all the best if you go to another club. If you come back under me and my coaching staff, let's have some fun. Let's learn along the way. So
have you had moments like that, like with like someone not into your coaching style?
It's funny, Cam. Last couple of years, end of year review. Our rugby development officer and our head of rugby. It's nice having people that you have to answer to, and they're the ones that dot the I's and cross the T's for you and say, hey, Mani, how's this area going? What do we need here? What do you need here? I feel that da-da-da-da. And they give you a lot of awesome feedback. And it's just nice having someone, that there's someone there sort of just keeping an eye on you and just making sure that you're doing your job. Whereas at other clubs, I could have gotten away with murder. I think I mentioned before, Cam. I could have, And people trust me with these players. People trust me with resources. People trust me with funding. And I could have just up and left. I'll be an American now coaching in the major league. So it's nice. And Rifles are a really good club. When I was at Watermatta, we used to think the Rifles was a stuck-up, snobby, rich club. But it's far from the truth. We might have a wealth of talent. Auckland Grammar, St. Kitts, St. Peter's, Dilworth College, a great catchment. And we do. We are quite lucky for talent around. But going back to my reviews, just when you think that things have been going really well, some reviews hit hard, and some players come in and tell the truth, which is cool. And you can't take that to heart, because you have to take that on board, take all the good and the bad, just like with anything, with work, with family. Take the good and the bad, and you can't spit the dummy. That's how you that's how it makes you a lot better, and you move forward into a positive light. I believe. A lot of players aren't going to be happy. You're trying to keep 32 players out of 60 happy. You're trying to name a bunch of 22 boys that's going to take the field every week out of 40 players, and. It's taken me a while to learn, but it's one rule for everybody. One rule for you, Cam. If there's two different rules, I can't live like that. Yeah. You got to be upfront, honest with the boys. You're playing this week because you did this really well, Cam. I'm going to put you in the reserves because I want you to focus on these two areas, and then I won't lose any sleep because I'm honest. Yeah. I used to be a player, and coaches would just go, "Mans, you're being dropped from the Prems, you're going down to the reserves," and that's it. I don't know what do I need to work on, and I said to myself, if I'm going to be a coach of a team, I'm going to explain to these players what they need to work on, because that's their right, and that's our job as coaches. I need to make sure that Avi's a lot better when he leaves than he was when he first came under my reign, and so far so good. I haven't got it all right, but it's a learning curve, and like I said, one more year next year, going all in and see if we can go one step further, one step closer.
It's interesting you talk about that, because like you said yourself, we all know you're a weatherman, man, from back in the days. But going to another environment, you gotta try and bring your skills to a new culture, try and merge that identity, what you believe in, into their identity, and try and so. When you're going around looking at the people around, looking at the colours, looking at the history, talking to old people, studying the culture of College Rifles, how much of that helps you identify with the players? And how you talked about there's rules for different people. It's a matter of getting that balance of having your rule affect the majority of the players. Like we're talking about the minorities, right? They have something to say otherwise. Yeah. But at least as long as you got the majority that's aligned with the culture of the club, it can get complicated, doesn't it?
Oh, hard out, Kim. Yeah. Big time. It was so much easier for when I was at Waitemata. Because because
you already know.
Yeah, well, I lived and breathed West Auckland. I live and breathe Swanson, the wineries, the Babbage wineries, the Waitemata Rugby Club, the colour, the jersey, the logo. So I understood that because I played it. Blood, sweat and tears on Waitemata number 1, and so it was easy for me to portray that in my coaching. And then picking up a gym, being a trainer, it went hand in hand. I encourage, I motivate, I inspire, because I was sitting across the other room and Michael Jones was on the other, Sir Michael Jones was on the other side, doing exactly the same thing.
And what better mentor?
Wow.
What better?
I had him in my coaching in my corner for 2 years, and he must have got sick of my texts and me ringing, but you're right. What better advocate, what better someone that mana, it's, wow, powerful. So I understood and appreciate what it meant to be from West Auckland, what it meant to be Waitemata when you're playing against the ponies, the grammars, the varsities, all the big guns, all the heavyweights, because they had all the sprinkling of all the Auckland boys. Waitemata picked up and no disrespect, but Waitemata picked up the leftovers, so to speak. And so we were battling well above our weight. So at Rifles, when I first went over, like I said before, this is my first year. So I did a bit of rep stuff, and I worked with the head coach of Rifles at the time, and I was a forwards coach for the Auckland team, and he must have liked the way I coached and my flavour, so he had offered me a role. And I went home to my wife and I said, you know what, I'm just going to stick with Waitemata. I was the head coach at Waitemata at the time. I'm just going to stay Waitemata because I was comfortable. I knew the boys. I knew the environment. I could get away with murder, Cam, and I was safe. I was comfortable. I was safe. Just down the road, stuff that driving through motorway to Remuera to St. John's, and then and getting stuck along the way or getting stuck in the traffic for an hour and a half, and so. And then, if it wasn't for my wife, I said to her, no, I'm going to stay. What I mean is, you get your ass in the car and you drive across Auckland and you go to your first training. So, long story short, I accepted the role and I've loved it. No, I've never wanted to turn back. Rifles have been so good to me. The resources, the backing, the learnings that I've picked up, the new friendships that I've built, the sponsorship. It's far from what I believed in when we were playing against them. It's far from the truth. We've had some really good players come through. The Bradley Mikas, the Orene Ai's that came through and played for them. The guys that I used to play against when they were back at Otahu, And then we're lucky enough to get Zahn Sullivan, Sione Havili, who's playing down at the Crusaders, Zahn in the Blues. So I've had some really good players come through the ranks, and I'm just loving my time there. So I'm really thankful that they're giving me another opportunity. Me, Filippo, and my forwards coach Filippo Levi, and my backs coach Matty. So like I said, all in. Let's go for it, and hopefully we can get a championship. That's the plan. That's the plan also.
Yeah, man. Like, I was just thinking that getting outside your comfort zone, it's. You can learn some real valuable lessons doing that.
Cam, it's just that initial step. But I'd probably still be at Waitemata. If it wasn't for my wife and kids. Dad, you need a new environment. I was getting sick of my own voice at Waitemata. I was getting sick of my drills and just some of the people that I was working with. And then I'd come home and I'd take it out on the kids and take it out on my wife. And it wasn't me. I was getting cranky. I was getting moody. It wasn't me. So this opportunity presented itself, and it's been a positive ride ever since, and I've enjoyed it. And you're so right. You got to step out of your comfort zone, and not just with rugby, with work, with family. And you got to, especially as PI Māoris, we're too scared to make that initial step. We've got all these great ideas, but we're just testing the waters. And no, it's too cold. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Yeah, you're right. It's comfortable. I know the zone. I'm safe.
Yeah.
What have you got to lose? If you've got good family behind you, if you've got built a good base underneath you, man, go for it. Well, what do you got to lose? Well, what's going to happen?
Did you ever think that you would leave Waitemata, Mans?
Nah, never. Born and bred. I'm a Centurion, proud Centurion there, played over 100 games.
But to go to College Rifles, when you first heard that you could be like a coach there, how did the initial reaction to yourself?
Oh, I thought I was surprised. I think if you're confident in what you do, like I mentioned before, we were doing some rep stuff with the head coach of Rifles at the time, and I was picked as a head coach, and the feedback that came back was, man, Mans instilled this physicality, Mans instilled a different side to this forward pack compared to the year before. If you believe in what you do and you're confident in what you do, then I think the results will speak for itself. And I was quite lucky that the head coach at the time and even the Auckland Union could see that we were sort of up-and-coming coaches. Yeah, let's give him a shot. Let's offer him a role here at Rifles at Remuera. But I did say to myself, if ever I was going to leave Waitemata, I was never going to go to, and no disrespect again, I was never going to go to another West club. I wasn't going to go to Massey up the road. I wasn't going to go to suburbs in Avondale. I wasn't going to go to Waitek down at the Trust. I just couldn't work with another West club being so loyal and honourable at Waitemata. I couldn't, And then this opportunity came up, and it was funny. It was when they made the call, and I said, "Yep, I'm keen to come across." My phone went off, the texts, and everyone, and it was funny because it was more negative than positive. Yeah, it was. Why are you going over there for? What are you doing? Why are you going over there for? That club, these are the guys that we hated. We didn't play, But like I said, I haven't looked back. And Cam, I was scared. I was really nervous and scared. My first 4 or 5 weeks of trainings, I was, why would these guys listen to me? I'm a Waitemata man. I'm Westie. I don't know. I have no affiliation whatsoever. Yeah, there's a burger place that I know that's quite nice up the top there, Me and my wife have been to a restaurant up the top there, but that's as close as, so what can I do? And it took me a while, but all you can do is just be yourself, have confidence in your ability, and just go for it. And these guys were fortunate enough, my third year this year, they warmed to me. They enjoyed the way that I coach. And lucky enough, I got head coach, and I've got great people around me. Rugby development officers, he's awesome. He's just in my ear the whole time. Mans, what do you need? I think, and he used to be a coach. He used to be the Auckland NPC coach. He used to be coach for Tasman as well. So sort of similar to Sir Mike, having someone with that wealth of experience in your corner and can offer a few gold nuggets here and there just to help you along the way. It's just, it's great. I'm enjoying it. I'm really thankful that I've got one more year.
What are the so when you went to Rifles, were they winning? Well, like the season before, were they
were
winning?
always been a top 4. They had always been a top 4 team. Always been a top 6 team. Yeah, but they got to the finals a few times, but they didn't. They choked against Varsity and they choked against Ponies. So my first year there, we got to the semis, lost. Last year, the year before, COVID played a big part. So all rugby was banned,
cancelled,
back end, and then this year we got to the semis. So we're there or thereabouts. And what we're doing, I believe we've got a right balance of coaches. We've got the right balance of people in behind the scenes, and I think we've got some really good players. But this time, I'm sure a lot of coaches and teams will find out that a lot of players go, we'll come back, but they're going to test the waters over the next few months as they do. What's Watermatter doing? What's Suburbs doing? What's Ponies doing? So there's a lot of player movement. But hey, these players haven't signed to these clubs. There's no money being issued. So why not go and test the waters? Why not go, But having said that, my RDO is a bit, he's panicking a little bit. Get on the phone and text these guys, ring these guys, and say, man, if you've done your job throughout the year and they've enjoyed and loved the way you coach and the atmosphere that you created along with the other coaches, then hopefully it shouldn't be an issue, And if they do decide to go and Rifles, our way of coaching is hasn't been for them, then I wish them all the best. I'm not gonna. They know where we are. I'm not going to beg and plead. They know where we are. And if it could be a frontline hooker, and he goes, that's cool. Well, who's the next hooker? I'm going to try and upgrade him. I'm going to upskill him. I'm going to try and get him to be where we need him to be. And that's your that's your duty as coaches, to make sure that these players are a lot better when they move on. And if they move on to bigger and better things, we just sit back and just enjoy the spoils and enjoy the efforts and wish them all the best. So.
What's College Rifles turnover of head coaches?
This is my second year, so this will be my third year head coach. The coach that we took over had been there for 8 years. So the atmosphere and the culture, I believe, is really strong. So under the previous coach of 8 years, he built a really good legacy. He built a really good a strong culture within the boys. He was a varsity man, so he brought a lot of varsity players over, a couple of boys from Pakuranga, a couple of guys outside the area, and they're still there now. When he moved, I was a bit worried that they were going to go with him because he's moved to Pakuranga now, so he's the head coach at Pakuranga, so I thought he was going to go. But a lot of boys stayed back, and I was quite thankful for that. So I don't know if it was my coaching or if I did a lot of pleading and please stay here. And
is this some of the feedback when you have your review?
Yeah.
You want to hear, like you want to hear these good things, like the reason why people stay. And
yeah. I think, Cam, if you treat people like people, my players have to be good people first before good rugby players, I believe, because it can't be the other way around. And if you treat them like players, and you know their first name basis, and you know their family, it's just like a gym membership. Oh, Avi, you're 25. Oh, Avi, how's things? How's work? How are the kids? How personal is that, rather than you're number 25 on the line? Yeah, exactly. So Avi, let's talk about your game. I thought you did this, and this really well. These few things here. What about your tackling? How did you think? If you have that conversation with your players that way, I think you're going to get a better response and a better friendship relationship. I believe, Cam. May take a bit of time, but it's important. We've got a lot of young boys coming through the system, and they're a different breed. There's a different way of talking to these guys compared to the guys that have been there over the last 3 or 4 years. These guys, their ego needs to be stroked. They need to hear what they want to hear. But if you want to trial out for the Prems next year, I'm not going to say no. I'll give you an opportunity, and at the end of the day, it's up to you. You make what you want of it. That's it. give me a chance. Yep, sweet, you've got your chance. And if you're not going to make it, I'm going to be the first to tell you why. I need you to go back down to 21s or back down to the Prem development, prove your worth and prove to us coaches as to why you should be in our 22. That's all they need to hear. And then I'll go home and sleep like a baby. But if I feed you guys lines and then you guys will tell me next week, Mance, Coach, you promised me that you're going to, then that's where a lot of the issues are going to happen. And then come to my review, Marnie didn't back up his words. He did this with these guys, da-da-da-da. So there's big brother's always watching somewhere along the lines,
What you just described, was that some of the culture you brought, your own sort of thinking of how to do things? Is that what you personally brought into the club? Yeah,
like I mentioned before, Cam, I was dropped a couple of times from Prems, but no explanation why. I was in the dark. Was it my tackling? Was it my running? Did I hit enough rucks? Was I getting my stats? What was it? What was I too slow? Was I hanging out in the backs? But there was no clear feedback. And I just said,
was that the norm back then? Is that normal?
Hey, maybe it was because I was playing alongside Sione Loaki and a couple of others. Just tell me. It's wax, It's wax. Yeah. He's going to start him every time, players like that. But I mentioned before, when I become a coach, I need to give these players feedback because that's how you get respect, I believe. Tell these guys, don't mess around. Just tell them straight up. You missed 4 tackles, 2 of them led to tries. So I need you to go down PDs and focus on your first up tackles, and that's clear cut feedback. Oh yeah, okay, coach. Yeah. Well, coach, no, I didn't think so. Well, hang on. Here's the video. Here's the stats. You watch it yourself, and that's the great thing about now. We've got a lot of we've got Huddle, which is a rugby. All our games are being filmed, and then we can edit and we can cut it, and then we can give it to specific players, and they can see right there. So. But yeah, Kim, I was dropped a few times and I just didn't know why. And I got despondent. And when I went and played really well down in the PDs, I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to get called back up again because I was enjoying my run. There was no pressure. And I just thought, no, these coaches don't like me. They don't, So I was quite happy, and we were building a good thing down in the PDs. But then at the same time, all my mates were playing in the top. I mean, I want to be up there, I didn't want my family to come and watch me play. No disrespect, but second level rugby compared to the, So I wanted to run out in the tunnel, Waitemata. One of the best parks that I've good feeling having everyone on the grandstand. You see your family cheering, and you hear the hitting of the concrete of the feet, and it was mean buzz.
I loved how you learned from the past and took it upon yourself to change it for the future.
Yeah.
Like if that's what was happening to you, it's easy for people to be taught stuff from someone and then carry that teachings on.
Yeah.
Don't change according to the times.
Yeah.
When we see, because times do change.
Yeah, hard out.
And it's hard for people to recognize, maybe it is, to recognize that, that times do change and you need to change the way you think.
Yeah. What needs to be changed.
What needs to be changed,
Some things that you can keep solid and keep with you.
Yeah.
But other things, you got to move with the times. You have to, otherwise you're going to get left behind, and then they'll pick another coach that's got more fresh ideas or that's willing to move with the game plan or with where the club's vision is. So yeah, you're right. You mentioned before, Cam, open mind. Yeah. You have to, just in life in general,
You just said something about when you look at other coaches. Is this a constant? I want to say the word competition, but a constant trying to get better. Like all the coaches, like you're looking at what they do and what you do, and is there like a forum or something that?
Yeah.
Especially in Auckland, because I believe because I know Auckland Rugby, they want their clubs to be strong. So Auckland Rugby can be strong.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So there's like a thing where is there like a hierarchy thing in Auckland Rugby where all the coaches and all the clubs have to adhere to, or like if there's some feedback coming down from the top, all the coaches take that on board. Yep. Just like how the All Blacks talk to their Super Rugby coaches.
Yeah. Hard up.
And we need the certain player to be in this position because it will help us.
Yep.
We need Damien McKenzie to play more number 10 because he might be number 10.
Yeah.
backup number 10 for us. Like, so Auckland does that too.
Yeah. So
similar?
there's comm lines and there's feedback. Back when it was Alama and Whirotiatia, and they would relate back down to the head coaches and what they were looking for and which players in your team was in the spotlight and what they needed to work on, which was great. Can the comm lines be a little bit more stronger? Yeah, of course it can. You know. And then there's coaching courses too to upskill all the coaches. I'm not too sure if you guys know, there's Junior Polu from PAP. He used to be a Manu Samoa halfback, Waikato Chiefs, North Harbour. Bradley Mika in the mix, Tani Funga, All Black Hook, Manu Samoa hooker, Jeff Yoromi, Rocky Khan, wealth of knowledge and coaches, all past and present of their own clubs, but now they're coaching their clubs. So all us guys, you can imagine the banter and everything underneath, but then at the same time we're all upskilling and hoping each other will be a lot better. And but there's only a lot of coaches in Auckland, if they aspire to rise up the ranks, there's only a few paying gigs at the top, and other coaches are looking elsewhere up and down the country. Really thankful that a couple of the Waitemata coaches that I played alongside that are doing really well. Craig McGrath is the defensive coach for the Blues, which is awesome. Mark Ozich, who held the reign for Hawke's Bay.
He's got Western Force.
Yeah, he's gone over to Oz to play his trade, and they're all Waitemata.
Him and Portito.
Yeah. They're all Waitemata boys, which is cool, and guys that I played alongside, all Centurion rugby players. So it's cool, and I want a piece of that. I've always had an affiliation that I wanted to go over to the States or to France or to UK. Overseas clubs are looking for coaches, let alone really good players. So, I mean, who's got the kupia to travel overseas? Why not use your rugby and your coaching? Any sport.
The MLR is a probably good start.
I think so.
They're a league that wants to come up. They're trying to come up.
And they're like sponges.
Yeah.
They're looking for coaches that can teach them. They've got the raw talent, but they just don't have the finer mental and physical of the game. But man, once they get it, whoa.
Do you watch that rugby show? That rugby town?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, the American one, eh?
Bro, like...
Beasts, some of those boys, big boys,
the physiques.
Yeah.
See,
crazy.
Glenn Robinson's son, isn't it? He's playing.
Who?
Glenn Robinson, the basketball player.
No,
his son is in the rugby team.
Okay.
Team that program is based on. He's the black dude.
Wow.
Well, there's a few of them.
Yeah, I think he's the one that's on all the time. Like.
Yeah, man, there'll be a mean opportunity, man. So hopefully something comes up.
Yeah, we'll see how we go away. If we win that championship next year, then I'll see you guys later.
Because that's a league that
forget us, eh?
A lot of Kiwis go over there, eh?
Yep.
Coaching or playing. Or...
Yep. And some Kiwi boys, even some island boys, are running their own rugby clinics over there now, their own rugby academies. Which is cool. And so why not aspire to be that if you're an up and coming coach, especially if the gigs in Auckland are few and far between, paying gigs. I'd love to go to another province up and down the country. Yeah, why not? Explore other opportunities in your country before you have to go overseas. But we'll see. Watch the space.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something. We had the Kanarak one day with Stace, Roger, Joey, and it's funny because every time we finish recording, there's some talk afterwards. And Roger brought up this thing that he should have said it on the podcast, but he didn't. But we talked about it after. But it was around what rugby was looking for in terms of the props. These days, they're looking for more leaner props, mobile and leaner props.
Did Rog put him at the top of the list, or
that's what he said. He said that was something that they were looking for
this day and age.
I don't know if that's true or not, but he just mentioned it. Is that true? Like, when I spoke about like how the top comes down, tells the coaches, oh yeah, we're looking for stuff. Is that one of the things?
Yep. Yeah, every coach is different, but this day and age, because of how fast the game is and how fast and how fast it's evolved and how long far it's come. This day and age, they want mobile props, good on their feet, good ball skills, and they can get around the park, not just hold scrums, lift in the lineouts. So there's the new age props.
That's what he said. He said they're asking coaches to put loosies in the props.
Yep. Especially and that's, my heart goes out to a lot of players, especially number 7s, because I've seen some real good number 7s, loose forwards, flankers, that are not tall, but they're mobile, they hit rucks, they smash anything, they win balls, they win turnovers, win penalties, but they're not tall enough to be used in the lineup. So they either go into hooker or go into the props, which is a shame. So they're having to learn a totally different position in a short time frame.
So this is actual instructions coming down to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And just the overall picture as to where rugby is going now. If you're not and I'll probably make an exception. Well, actually, he's been used in the line a lot. Is Adi Saveas? He's not the tallest number 7, but he's still used in the lineouts. But Adi Saveas he's just a different different kettle of fish, different beast.
If you look like guys in the Blues, like Alex Hodgman, like he's not your typical looking prop.
No. But he's strong in the scrums, lifts in the lineouts, and he's quite mobile. And he pulls off one-on-one tackles around the rucks. And those are some of the things that a naked eye wouldn't see. Us guys, especially with armchair fanatics, we just see the big frilly stuff. But we don't see the big pushes in the scrum. We don't see the close contact, low tackles. We don't see the guys that are hitting the rucks in order for the ball to come shooting up the back so all the flashy backs can score the tries. We don't see that type of stuff, But yeah, Rog hit in the head, and Rog was a mobile prop himself, so of course that he'd have to say that, and handy hooker as well. So he played both sides of the front row.
When I think about someone that's mobile, he's not a prop, he's a hooker, but Amor. For Amor.
Yeah.
But they want that kind of guy in the props there.
He's just explosive. He's strong. He's tough. And man, the recent tour, I think made him. Be interesting to see whether he'll get the number 1 hooker spot now. But yeah, that was a bit gutted. Probably like a lot of Kiwi guys, a lot of New Zealanders about the way the tour ended, and those Northern Hemisphere teams are. I don't know. I hate to say it, but are they taking over the number 1, 2, and 3 spot? A few questions, as we all do about the All Blacks, our beloved All Blacks. We don't want them to lose at any cost, but be interesting to see. A lot of people are saying Zian Foster, but that's after the tour now, But before, when we were beating Aussie and South Africa and Argentina, there was no one saying, who's Scott Robinson? But now after the tour.
I think only people in Christchurch are asking for Scott Robinson to be the All Blacks coach.
Yeah,
but
what more does he have? What more does he have to do? I think Foster's been signed to the next World Cup. So
that was another topic on one of the kind of rucks we had. I know Stace had his opinion on the whole Ian Foster thing, because he criticised, and you might be right. He criticised the way the All Blacks have that succession plan. Like, you can't come in as a coach out of the blue.
No.
You got to come up as assistant coach and come up like what they have been doing.
Yeah.
Ever since Mitchell left, they've started this succession plan. They've had Graham Henry with what's his name? Hansen.
Yep.
And he's come up. Hansen. Graham Henry moves up. Hansen comes up. Ian Foster's the assistant.
So you're right. The succession plan.
Yeah.
The next coach will take over.
Yeah, next coach. Yep. So they can't look at people that outside
no.
that want to come in,
Yeah,
and that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because we've got some fantastic coaches.
Yep.
Jamie Joseph, another one.
Yep.
Him and Brown. I mean, they're mean
Doing
pair,
great
right?
with the Japan.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
really well with Japan.
Yeah. Scott Robinson, like new age coach.
It's
sort of
interesting
thing.
to see where he goes now.
Yeah.
What does he stick around, wait for his opportunity, or?
And it's Ian Foster's just part of that succession plan, and I think you got to take the good from the bad, you got to go through the bad times and keep them on.
Yeah.
So take them through the bad times and learn from it, and try and overcome it, hopefully in the next World Cup.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we'll win. But
based on what's happened now?
Based on 2 years is not enough to get it right, I think. But yeah. I think a lot of the teams around the world are probably
Caught up or overtaken?
with the help of New Zealand influence.
I know.
You know,
The
especially
coaches
Ireland.
are Kiwis.
You know?
Yeah.
With the Kiwi players they got on their team,
Yeah.
Joe Smith, he used to coach there.
Well, now he's on the island. He's in the All Blacks.
He's playing the
panel.
All Blacks.
Yeah.
So is there now a succession plan?
I
Is he
know.
going to be the next one up?
Oh,
You know, if Ian doesn't
Yep.
perform in World Cup, are we going to see Joe Smith going to be?
well, you're right. You know, why couldn't they put Scott Robinson in there? Add some new flavour.
I couldn't do that.
What, you know, so
I
what
mean,
is
they
he meant
could,
to think now?
but now there's a precedent because they got rid of Grant Fox at selection
Yep.
and put Joe Smith in, so
Yep.
they can get rid of someone else. You know,
Mm.
and put Robinson in.
Yeah.
But then there's that whole thing about bringing your coaching team in. Like if you're a head coach, you want guys under you that you trust
right
and,
out.
and worked with before. Like, yeah,
Mm.
it's tricky, yeah.
Yep, big time. It's yeah, like I said, this tour, it opened up a lot of questions for me personally. I thought, and you guys probably, I thought Akira was the incumbent number 6, and you know he still opted for the guy from Waikato. I forgot his name. You know, putting Rico Ioane at wing and then centre. You know, starting George Bridge ahead of Sevu Reece, and a few questions. Everyone would have had their own questions. You know, playing Brodie Retallick, did he use him a lot? And he was tired in those big games. You know, so it's a lot of questions. Was Nipo Laulala the best prop that we had? I don't know. Heaps of questions. But if at the end of the day, if you see the majority of the boys, they back Ian Foster, majority, and at the end, those are the guys that are, their views are more important than anything else. New Zealand public are sometimes unforgiving. You know, if we're not doing well, we'll be the first to get on their backs and just ride them to, you know.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's the next World Cup is 50-50, especially what we've seen.
Yeah.
Aussie rugby starting to pick up, even though they lost to some of those teams. I thought they made some come on leaps and bounds. But England, Ireland, they look sharp.
Yeah.
Really sharp, and no doubt they'll be strong over the next few years. So.
Yeah. All Blacks had a bad run this year.
Yeah.
You know, but no one, like you said, the fans, they're so passionate. You know, you can throw in COVID as a big factor. I mean, these guys were away for how many months? 3 months?
Yeah.
You know, like on the road. You know, it's
Of course, it's going to play on your psyche.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, big time.
But we're All Blacks, man. We're supposed to win.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what. No matter what. No matter what.
You know, as a coach, like when I know we talked about it last time we came on the podcast, how you watch games and you don't see games as a fan anymore.
Not a fan anymore, Kim.
You can't. Man, that must be hard. Is it hard? You're always constantly looking at moves and all that.
Also, I've got notebooks next to me. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I've got notebooks and I need to write down, oh man, what did they do at this line out? Oh, look at that scrum. Oh, why did the ref make that? Oh, no, that was a bullcrap call. You know, I can't just sit back and go, wow, what a try. Wow, what a pass. Wow, what a kick. I can't. I'm just dissecting everything. And then I'm on the phone ringing my coaches and go, oh, this is what I want to do. What are your thoughts on this? You know, and it's just, it sucks. You know, the only time that I can get relaxed is if I'm watching NRL. Because I don't know.
It's a different code.
Well, that's right. But as soon as I want to watch. I want to watch all rugby, no matter what division. You know, so I'm just glued to the TV, and it sucks because my wife and kids are screaming for me to go. You know, you guys go. You know, it's all good. Bring me something back. You guys go. But yeah, I can't watch it as a fan anymore. Which is fine because that's part and parcel of what I need to do. I need to upskill my players. I've got a duty to do. I've got a obligation to fulfill for my club. And if we're not producing the results, then someone's head's got to roll. And at the end of the day, I'd rather it be me than anyone else because I'm not being cocky, but that's my team. They see me as the leader, and I've got to take them to where we need to be. And if I'm not producing the results, and if I'm not keeping the ship sailing smoothly, then questions have got to be asked. And I'd rather it be me, especially after the losses. I didn't want to go into the clubs. I didn't want to do any interviews. I didn't want to talk to people on the papers, but I had to. You know, I had to eat humble pie and just say, "Oh, man, you guys were leading it. That's what happened." You know, I had to be upfront and honest. And even though I wanted to just curl under a rock and just cry, you know, but that's you got to take the good and the bad, and that's just with life in general. And I needed my players to see that the coach was strong enough to take it on the chin, even though I was representing us as a whole, but I still took it on the chin. I'm the man in charge. There were faults. We got it wrong. Blame me. Don't blame any of my players. Don't blame any of my coaches. Don't blame the club. Blame me. So.
Yeah, so you understood when the public was taking aim at Ian Foster.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Obviously a different scale, different spectrum, but yeah, New Zealand public, we're passionate. We're passionate about our sport, especially rugby. And there's no bigger fans, I believe. I mean, you get the Barmy Army from the UK and the hardcore singing, but the Kiwi fans are a different bunch of people. I don't know if you guys have been to an All Black game or a Sevens, New Zealand Sevens. It's just, we're the best. Our support, our fans are the best. But, oh man, especially a young kid, if they get thrown in the limelight and they're a hero, and then the following week they don't do too well, and we're sad. We keep them down. We just keep them down there. We sully them.
Well, I know the difference between a Warriors fan and a All Blacks fan, or a rugby fan. you can tell the difference when you're in the crowd.
Yeah. Hard out.
Two different things, Eden Park and Mount Smart.
Mount Smart, Oh, Mount Smart's taking over now, Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
that'll be cool.
Man.
Really excited about that new concept?
Yeah, I should be.
Yeah, as long as they don't beat the Blues. Yeah.
As long as they don't beat the Blues, exactly. Nah.
Well, there's talk that it's, the Pacifica team and the Nadrawa team, hopefully it's not a make-up numbers type of game and get smashed every week type of, and then they'll have to review the whole schedule, the whole format again. But, okay, some of the recruiting probably could have been a lot better, but, hey, they're in there now, and we just have to get behind it and support it, and hopefully it's not a...
Do we have to, though? Do we have to? Like, we still got the Blues.
Yeah, true.
The Blues still own Auckland City, man.
But I think about the opportunity that these other players are getting that can't make the Blues or can't make any of the super franchises, and they get a shot at one of the Pacific teams. Yeah, how cool is that?
I can't help wondering that things that Tracy Attinga has spoken about are true. I can't help wondering that. I know she came on this podcast, told her story about all of that stuff, and to me, having this team a part of New Zealand rugby, having a hand in it, with the whole percentage thing with the players, and certain percentage of players have to be aligned with New Zealand rugby, and does it really help the rugby island nations? Does it really help them? But I think with the whole rule change, with the
they're starting to sort of,
it's like, okay, maybe it's not a big deal anymore. It's just another team that our island players can be in and hope to gain experience. Yeah, which is probably what we want. But then you got to look at the positions that some of the players are, like the number 10, a pivotal, important position. You want someone, marquee position. You want someone from the islands aligned to Samoa, Tonga, or Fiji to be in that position, so they can get the experience, so they can go take it to their, for Samoa, Tonga, and play in the World Cup, that kind of thing. So, I think the whole rule change, the eligibility rules change, came in the perfect time. So I think with the whole one Pacifica thing, like, it's okay now for me anyway.
Yeah. Easy to take.
It's softened the blow,
I saw this morning that Fikitoa's trying to get his eligibility for Tonga too, and he's been fighting there for a while. It didn't work out with the Sevens, so hopefully it goes well. I mean, how cool would that be? All the PI players past that have played for New Zealand or some of the Aussie get to play for their
I mean, you want to see them playing in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You want the World Cup to have the best players playing.
Yep. Yep.
Currently, you're not seeing them. At least the ones that can't stuck in contracts overseas. But now you can. So that's a good thing. The other side of that coin is that the guys that are already playing, do they get pushed out now?
What happens there?
What happens to them?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And then you got to think about, longevity for the next few years, the building of the. Next couple of teams over the next few years, So, I mean, how cool would it be for a Jerome Kander to go back to Manu and play in the next World Cup, who's still got a lot to offer, still playing. He just hung up his boots this season, So, Ma'anonu who can still offer. you know, man. Yeah, and not just those guys. I'm sure there's a couple of Aussie players that can go back and help out. South African boys can go back and help out. You know, so
Now it'll be cool to see what happens in the next World Cup, because a lot of players are eligible now.
Yep.
Since the rule change.
Yep.
So, you know,
a couple of sprinklings in each team. Make
Exactly,
you sit up
exactly.
and watch, and you know.
man, I was so sad about Tonga when they played the All Blacks and they had to scrounge around for players.
Wow.
Club rugby. And
Hard out.
there was no one
Nah.
available.
Right throughout the whole series, which was a shame. Their team changed which was sad.
Yeah.
But how
And
do you pick up from that? How cool would it be if they have a Whikitoa
come
in
right
your
in
team,
there?
a marquee player, and then hopefully that will put the powers to be on standby and fight for this eligibility rule, because Tonga, Samoa can be a force if all their players were available to them, and play them. If they want to play for their country, give it to them. Let them give back. That's the only way. And that's the only way that you're going to match up with the England and the Islanders, just get these island boys to go back and play for their rightful country. You know? I don't know. We just sit here and we just... How do you join the IRB? How do you what's the criteria?
Nah, it's kind of cool that rule did change, and I just can't but think why all of a sudden. You know, it was a surprise. It was a surprise. I did not think they would ever do it.
Yeah.
You know, and even 3 years sounds long, but it aligns with a lot of players to make the next World Cup.
Yeah.
If their teams, if Tonga lets them, I think Tonga will, because they need help. They need players there.
But come with those players come sponsorship. You know, all that kind of stuff. Sponsorship, awareness, support.
It's just pride, right?
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, they can only take you so far, and they help. But that's the epitome of playing for your country. How cool would that be? That's pride, it's passion for you and your family to represent your country. But at the end of the day, if you're playing for a club that's paying your wages, paying your salary, and good money,
why would you go? Yeah.
well, you know, it's at the end of the
It's
day.
only pride.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What can you keep? What can you keep them in playing for your country? You know. So
After the rule change, Daniel Leo, he came on 1ZB and the rugby part of 1ZB, and he said that, you know how Samoa was supposed to play the Barbarians
just recently,
in Twickenham,
Yep.
but it got cancelled because of COVID.
COVID.
He said that they weren't going to get any of the ticket sales.
Samoa wasn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Because Daniel Leo, he's the advocate for Samoa rugby. Yeah, he's the
He made that documentary, the Oceans Apart,
That's right. That's
about
Wow,
the welfare
I didn't know
of
that.
welfare of Pacific Island players.
right. Wow.
Yeah. Have you seen his short movies?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should. It's on. I think you can get it on. I think you can get some on YouTube.
Short movies about what, Kim?
He's got a documentary about ex-players,
Okay, so it's all based on rugby and ex-players and.
Pacific Island players.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He's got one. The one I saw was the one with Rupini.
Yep.
And where he is now.
Oh, okay.
So he's broken back in the islands and he's living in the village, and you know.
Wow.
And he talks about how he wasn't really taught how to save his money. And
Yeah.
didn't know
He
how
had
to.
none of that support system, that network around him. Eh?
That's right. And he just spent all his money and.
Best player in the world at one time.
Yeah.
And now falling from grace. You know, it's sad.
Yeah,
Damn.
but no, because he's from the islands, and he's back in the islands, so he's come full circle.
Yep.
So he's happy
Yep.
because he's back where he started. But it doesn't matter because that's all that's his.
He's enjoyed it. He's enjoyed
that's
that
his heart.
Yeah.
That's his heart. You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
That's what he knows. For real.
Yeah.
All the stuff was just loving rugby and the things that came with it.
But the message that he gives to
Yeah.
all the locals, man, you can do it. If he can do it,
Mm.
you can do it as well. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But that guy was just. He was just gifted. He was different level. He was almost like a Jonah-like. You know.
Fijian vision.
Wow. Give him the ball and just stand back and just in awe and just watch him.
Well, he was evasive. He was powerful.
And
His
his
speed.
top speed, his take off on the mark, his swerve. Yeah, it's just crazy.
He's just like a freak, eh?
Few and far between those type of players.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll put him up there with Jonah. Me personally, Johnny Wilkinson, Richie McCaw, Dan Carter. You know, that top players. You know, you guys can add to the list, but
Cullen.
Oh, Christian Cullen. Yeah.
Besides I know the head coach job in that month. I know you, on the side there you run your own gym, your own fitness facility.
you haven't paid for the last. Sorry.
So you're trying to call yourself out.
You're wearing all the gears, but you haven't paid. No, sorry.
What's happening with it? When's the gym gonna open? When is it gonna open again? Basically.
So this is our last week of classes. So we finished on the Thursday, 23rd. Our last class 5:30 in the evening, and then we're back on the 10th. I think before we jumped on the podcast, we were talking about Zoom and what that looked like during the lockdown. And I've done Zoom before, and although it was needed because our members were still quite happy to pay during the lockdown, we needed to give them something. You know, you can't pay for something that you're not going to use or so. So I did Zoom, and that was out of the comfort zone for me. You know, I've never been one to be in the limelight. I've never been one to show my face or do exercise in front of anybody, sort of thing, especially online. So I'm really thankful that I had the kids with me. But this time around, once the levels sort of started getting a bit more easier, and we could do a few things, I think people have just enjoyed training outside. Me personally, rain or shine. I thought even before lockdown, trying to get people to train outside was hard. But this time around, they didn't. I think it's what we've done so far, especially with the gyms being closed for so long.
Yeah.
And it's given the trainers a bit of a boost as well. Training outside there, fresh air and rain or shine in the elements. You know, you're not in the comfort. Although I do miss it. You know, there's been a few times where it's been raining early in the morning, 5:30. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? You know, but hey, if it's good enough for the members, then it's good enough for me. I've got to get out there and get wet like everyone else. You know, so yeah, this week's our last week. We've had some new faces come through. You've really lucky that you've brought a few people along with you too. So they're probably sick of your trainings, and so it's been really good. More families too. We've had husband and wives and their kids come through. You know, we've had about 3 or 4, 5 different bubbles. You know, all training under the one Maximus bubble, which has been cool. It was funny, I was thinking the other day, how can I give back to the Trust? Because the Trust has been our home for the last 3 months. And I know
are you there now? At the Trust?
Well, just all our outdoor classes have been based there now. And the Trust has been, and to think that they were going to charge people to use it one time.
Really?
Yeah, they were a number of years ago. I guess I got to look into it, because the Trust has been a godsend for everybody, and not just for Maximus, but for other gyms and other little boot camps as well. It's so cool, man, watching hundreds of people. We're all there to better ourselves, to get our fix, you know, de-stress, just go hard out and then go home, relax, you know, put your feet up, you know. So it'd be just interesting to see how do you give back to the Trust, because it's just been so cool. And I'm guessing all the other suburbs have got their own main Trust stadiums,
parks,
if you want to say. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's just really cool. It's nice to. I'm glad that the break's coming around, Christmas, New Year, so we've got a couple of weeks off. But at the same time, just watching everybody on the same path, not only just our group, but there's 4 or 5 other groups around. You know, and you can't go to the Trust and not do any running. There's some sort of running.
Yep.
And it's just a great place to be. You know, no matter what time.
Yeah, for me personally, like because I left my fit club and I've come and started your classes and that. I actually like the training with the younger guys as well, because at the other fit club there's no younger, you know, that aid the youth and that. They're fitter. That's the one thing I can take away, is that the guys at Maximus, they're a whole lot fitter. Just the vibe. the trainer's a bit dodgy, but nah, but I enjoy it. The people that I've brought across as well, they've loved it. I'm still waiting for a few more people to come to get back on their feet and then bring them to the class. But no, I really enjoyed coming to the classes, being outside as well, rain or shine. Seeing some other friends that wouldn't come to classes, but now they're coming with their families and that. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's just what you want out of it. It's just like anything, you got to ask yourself why. Why do you want those new shoes? Why do you want that new piece of clothing? Why do you want to go and get something to eat? Why do you want to do the fitness classes? It's just, at the end of the day, I want to get fitter, I want to get stronger, my own mental, physical, but at the same time, like-minded people around you, good vibe, good atmosphere. I'm not a number, the trainers know me by name. They know a little bit about my background. Everyone doesn't look at you. Oh, Man's only done 8, but I'm doing 14. And no one looks at you, you just come in. It's you versus you. Yeah,
yes.
And it's, that's what I'm yelling out. And yeah, you're right. It's a good vibe. And there's some young boys in there that like to throw their weight around and lift some tin. And they're a lot fitter and lots faster, but it's you versus you,
Some of the females too, I see them cracking on, pretty fit,
Yeah. And as a trainer, you watch these guys, and they've, over the last 3 months, they complain, oh, we're running again, oh, we're doing this again, oh, we're doing this again. Yeah, they complain, well, are you getting fitter? Are you getting stronger? Are you losing weight? Is your husband or your partner looking at you and noticing some change? Or there you go, get down and give me 10%. But that's one of the big reasons as to why I do it. We've been in, me and my family, the Maximus trainers have been around fitness all our lives, so we understand and appreciate what it takes. I haven't perfected my game, and my eating's not the best, even though I tell people that it is, just to get them in. But it's work in progress, and it's not one thing. It's not just come in and train your butt off. You got to eat well. You got to hydrate. You got to sleep. I think if you've got the upstairs right, then everything else will follow. Me personally, and it's just an awesome vibe. Looking forward to the next couple of classes. Looking forward to the break.
Yeah. I just want to say something so when Maximus was at Waira, I signed up, done a bunch of classes, a lot of training with from Mani and some of the other trainers as well. Then I went off and I started training at a fit club, but I've never forgotten where I started from. Like with the box fit, especially with the box fit stuff. So I went to this fit club, did some box fit, did some training, fit club, whatever. And then I got given an opportunity to start my own box fit class, and I can honestly say some of the inspiration is from being at Maximus, because I remember all the drills.
Oh, only some. Oh, sorry. Just
remembering all the drills, even though I repeat the same drills, 2 or 3 classes in a row or whatever. It's just, I just remember the times I was at Maximus, and that was when we were at the club, Waimea, and I just remember all that. It inspired me, hooking up with the fit club, training with the fit club that I was training at, gave me the confidence, I started my own weights class because of the weights we used to do. I don't know if you may not see it, but some of your influences influenced, on me as well. And then I'd like to, thank you.
Nah, it's all good.
Thanks. Sorry.
Lean over and give you a hug. Or...
Give me a kiss. Nah.
Hey, whoa. It's a family, family podcast.
I'm just saying, some of the stuff that we used to do, train, box fit and all that, it influenced me to start my own classes. You know what I mean?
No, that's cool, Av. No, I appreciate the words also. And there's always going to get people in your lives that you take a few little things here, a few gold nuggets away from them, and then apply it to your life, and then disregard all the other stuff that doesn't, I don't need any of that. But no, that's cool. So, and I would have been inspired and encouraged by other trainers. I love going to other boxing. Okay, I'd put on a boxing class, but it's not the end all be all. I lose ideas, and I lose motivation too. So I need to go to another boxing session and get some ideas and reinvigorate and re-energize, because members aren't done. Well, hang on, we did the same drills yesterday, or we did the same drills last week. So it's always upskilling, and just like coaching as well. Because if you ever sit back on your heels and think, you know what, and people come on and go, man, that was a mean class, and you sit back and think, I've got this. So it's all good, man. You're going to get left behind, no matter what part of life it is. It could be training, it could be coaching, it could be whatever. It could be podcast, Cam. You know yourself, and you're leading the way, bro, with your podcast, and it's great. We were talking beforehand. You're thinking, well, put up some controversial stuff. Well, why not? Because it's going to generate conversation, whether it's negative or positive feedback. But you got a reaction, and you can build on that. You know, so that's cool, and that's why I'm thankful that you offered me an invitation. This is my second time on here, and I love it. It's just so cool, and it's inspired and encouraged me again, more so. So I have to do a few more PTs to get some flash microphones like this over the next couple of weeks. So either that or Abe can start paying his membership.
I just want to point out to the listeners that we're not doing controversial stuff on purpose, But the stuff that we talk about, like when you're having a few beers with your mates, in the past, like it is controversial anyway. Like we're talking about stuff that is controversial. Well,
it's conversations, it's discussion, and it's banter. But it's just the mics are there and the headphones are there.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
exactly, and to me, it's more real than anything else. And
if you are real, then you got nothing to worry about.
Cool. What I want to ask you with the whole COVID lockdown we've had, like, when was back in August? Was it?
That's when it started, August, September, October. Yep.
And this was the longest lockdown. Now we're in this red
December.
light, green light
traffic system.
As a businessman, how did that affect your business? Because it's a longer version of what we had last year.
Yeah. Kev, I'm quite lucky that that saying is surround yourself with some real like-minded people and some good people. And I've got my wife Charlotte, my brother-in-law Jeremy, and his partner Jess. Jess's mum Dal, who looks after our books, and it's. I think I mentioned before, I'm only one piece of the puzzle, and without these people around me, I think Maximus would fold. We had a glitch in the system, a little bit of a speed bump in the. Last year we left Waitemata after 9 years association.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we left, and one of the trainers, he left, and he's doing great things with his gym too, which is cool, which is awesome. So, Maximus has had to rethink, redirect, so we lost a few members because of what had happened and the split. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but we're doing our thing, and it's been pretty tough. I've been doing a few classes here and there, and some of our previous members I've seen doing other classes, which is great. I've never been I don't bag any gyms, I don't put anyone down. At the end of the day, as long as you're active and you're enjoying your classes, wherever it may be, kudos to you. And that's cool. Come and say hi, I'll say hi, and we can catch up. And that's the one thing that brings us all together, is you want to try and better yourself, whether it's mentally or physically or whatever. Just come and say hi and we can catch up for a chat. But I'm not gonna, you were with us before and I'm not gonna do that, because that's not me. Why would I want to waste energy on that? And if they wanted to be with us, they'll be with us. If not, that's cool. But I'm not gonna. I got to spend my energy against more positive things that need my attention. So we're doing okay. We're really thankful that we had our diehard members that stuck around with us no matter what, and we haven't changed our approach, the way we take classes. So, but in terms of COVID, we just adjust like everyone else. Cam applied for all the subsidies and try to steal as much kupe as we can.
Yeah.
Jokes. Love you, Jacinda. But we're doing okay. 2022, we've got a few things in the pipeline, so I'm really excited about that. More rebranding, different types of classes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the last week. This week of our classes, but then I'm looking forward to the 2-week break So come back with a vengeance. I think everyone in general this year will want to come back bigger, stronger, more tougher mentally for 2022. I believe, and don't let COVID rule us as it has been over the last few lockdowns. This is the only way you can tackle it.
There's a new rebranding and the new classes. Has that been influenced by other gyms around, or the change in times, or COVID?
Yep. And we mentioned about with your podcast, with my coaching, the feedback. You have to. You can't just sit back on your laurels and think that, okay, I've got this. I've got this. Because you got to always be on the, especially if you're owners. You got to be on the game the whole time, and you just can't sit back. I have to admit, I do sit back, and I'm quite easy to dictate, but people look to me to lead, and I have to do as such, and they look to me because I'm the older, I'm the experienced, and I'm a bit more, I wouldn't say in your face, but I want to ask questions. I want to learn at the same time because I've got a group of people behind me that need me to lead. So, okay, where do we go to from here? What can we do? What classes are working? Where to from now, Cam? You have to, because if you're just going to sit back and do what you've been doing the last couple of years, you're just going to get the same results. And then you watch all the other gyms start sort of taking over, and then you watch your members start going elsewhere. Mans, as much as we love Maximus, it's not working for us. We're gonna go here. And those are some of the tough conversations I had prior to leaving Waitemata. But I think we needed to get out of Waitemata. It was a blessing as to what had happened. And I nothing but love for the Uso and what he's done, and he's doing great things from what I hear. And I caught up with him in the weekend, and you just take the good and the bad and just move forward. You have to, because if you're going to sit there and dwell on it, then it's just people don't want to feel sorry for people that feel sorry for themselves. They can.
So where's Maximus based now?
So we're based at the Trust.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
And we've got Maximus out at East. So we're based in Panmure. So we've got another gym out at Panmure that I'm running out there, which is a different kettle of fish. The members out there love their boxing. They don't want to do anything else.
Oh, really?
They just love their boxing, and they love Zoom. Whereas out here, they love the upfront and personal atmosphere. We all sweat. We all work hard together. Which is fine. But it's great to have a different spectrum.
That's interesting, how the Panmure cats, they love different things.
And they're a lot more older. They're a lot more older crew out. Now, maybe it is.
So it's more convenient based.
Well, it is for me because then I get the best of both worlds. Yeah. Over there, I run Zoom, I run boxing sessions, and then over here I come and do barbell sessions, dumbbell sessions, kettlebell sessions. So I get a mixture, and then I work with the younger, sort of to a little bit younger than me. Then over there I get to work my age and a little bit older. So and I don't mind the travel, sitting in the traffic going from here to Panmure, GI, Mount Wellington. I'm always thinking, so I don't mind the travel. But what a difference if you miss the motorway by a couple of minutes, you're stuck in the traffic forever. Especially going through the Panmure township. You know every barber and every bakery as you're walking, traveling through the main township. So,
oh man, I've never been a gym guy. I've never been going to the gym because I don't know, something about training in front of training with other people around you.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like
you felt that way a long time, Cam.
When I was young, back in primary school, I used to go with my older cousin. We used to go to Club Physical. When Club Physical was at Lincoln Road above the doctors,
yep.
When it was up there,
yeah.
My cousin and I just go for just to play around. I was only about 12 or 11 back then.
Yep.
And I just never. From there, I couldn't believe why she was training and people around. I thought it was embarrassing. That's what I thought in my head when I was that age.
And that's what you've carried with you.
And and I never thought I'd go to the gym and do training, in front of other people.
Had you tried it?
Yeah.
You joined a couple of gyms along the way, or?
I did. It's funny because I had to drink up with one of my cousins. He's a personal trainer, and he got drunk, and he sort of smashed my place up.
What?
He got drunk and did something. Anyway, he's a personal trainer, and to apologize, he'll give me free lessons.
Oh, nice.
So that's-
Did you use it?
yeah, I used it.
Yeah, me.
Which
And-
gym was he at?
I can't see. But anyway, I went for like a month, I think 6 weeks. I went for 6 weeks. Yeah, man, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. He was personally training me.
Yeah.
Did all the sets.
So what
for
made
free,
you
'cause
do
was his
that?
apology.
So what made you do that though? If you were still had that mentality about,
I think it's because he was my cousin and like,
oh, okay,
but I was still like nervous, like looking.
yeah.
Other
Oh, so
people
you're
around.
comfortable because he was there.
Yeah, I was comfortable he was there, but I was nervous because
Just a self-image thing, or what? What is?
It's the feeling I get when I think it was it is, I know it's a feeling when you're not doing as much as the other people.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
You know,
Mm.
like am I if I'm lifting something, and am I like it's just like little
Yeah.
small
Oh,
small weights,
okay.
and everyone else is doing big weights. It's
So
that.
But worried about what other people.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm worried
okay.
about other people think.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
and that was a big deal.
Just the gym or in life in general as well.
Nah, and it goes through.
Yeah.
This is my high school days, right?
Mm, mm,
You know, so yeah, it follows through with what
Mm.
other people think.
mm.
You know, so it's funny because doing the podcast now, like I don't really care.
Stuff it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just doing it, you
Yeah,
know.
hard up.
So yeah, it was a big deal.
Oh.
That's why I wasn't a gym guy, because I
Mm.
wasn't. I was too afraid of what other people think.
Yeah.
And I think a part of most of my life, like growing up, like it was always like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's interesting, eh? Those kind of things that make you
Mm.
feel or act like that because of those little things, and then now,
Yeah.
you come full circle. And now it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's not a factor anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. So kind of going off topic, but but yeah, it was just like that's the reason why I never went to gyms and that. Like, because I trained all by myself.
Mm.
You know, the training.
Yeah, I know.
Promise.
I know. There was a time when I think you're on a weight loss challenge with your family, and I remember I saw you one time, and then the next time I saw you, you had shrunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you did all that. You did like a family boot camp or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then I know you were telling me you used to walk down Queen Street, eh?
Yeah. So I used to take our walks at every lunchtime. Take our walks on my lunch
So
break.
how did you feel when you're doing that? When you're walking with everyone around? No, you didn't.
Nah,
Different feeling compared to in the gym.
Because I'm just walking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm walking on the footpath.
Just normally like everyone
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's not like,
So all that weight you lost outdoors, never in the gym.
that year, that was 1 year that I decided, there was 1 year I decided I would lose weight. And I lost 20 kgs that whole year just by walking and drinking tank juice. Just tank juice. Because I got into the whole fasting thing. So I only ate,
At work or something.
I only ate at
12?
dinner time.
Oh,
I just
yeah,
had dinner. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, I had
Fasted the whole.
I had coffee in the morning.
Yep.
Maybe have a tank in lunchtime. And that was it. And then
Your meal was the
the
dinner.
meal was at dinner. And that was
and
it.
then do it again the next day.
Yeah, every single day for the whole year. And yeah, I lost 20 kgs that year.
How did you feel? Were you hungry? Were you starving? Did it play mentally on your mind, or were you happy with the way you were?
With the fasting, it was like the first 2 weeks was hard. But then I got used to it. And then it was all right.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
that first couple of weeks
Yeah.
that's the hardest, no matter with anything.
You got to get over it.
Yeah,
eh?
hard out.
Yeah.
First couple of weeks. And then once you break that barrier, then, you'll be,
Mm.
you're going to have
But-
some crap days, but
Yeah. But my problem is keeping it at the
maintaining it.
end. Maintaining it,
yeah.
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 Always
You've done
fall-
all this hard work
Yeah.
and then now you're here and enjoy it.
fall
And
back.
then, hard out.
Then fall back. I'm
Yeah.
always had that problem.
Yeah.
But then, it's like an ongoing thing for me. Like, especially when I had my hip injury a few years ago.
Oh, in Samoa.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, man.
after that, it's hard for me to train because I can't run
Yeah.
because of my injury.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I haven't lost weight since.
It still plays up every now and then, Cam? Or?
No, the injury doesn't play up. It's just I think it's just the mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's I want to actually do something about it.
Mm.
Like next year.
Mm.
It's the old cliche 1st of January.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Just got to get out, like give it a go out there again.
I think it just comes back down to your why. Why do you want to do it?
Yeah.
You know, I saw, was it your daughter out there on the bike? Active out there, you know, that's a reason why, you know, so, you know, all the kids as well.
Especially in our age, you know. You
Hard.
Can't just sit back and watch them anymore from the couch. No way, man. So it just comes down to your why, Cam. You know, and you got your personal trainers around here. We'll say if any time you need a hand, and
I'm trying to get them to come.
chuck on those t-shirts at the back there.
But I think for me, it's not the work. It's the mentality.
Mentality,
Yeah.
building the habits.
Yeah.
That initial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm working, it's easy.
Yep.
I can do that.
Yep.
But it's just the voice in my head saying, "Nah, do it tomorrow." Or do it, you know? "Oh, nah, just do one push-up." You know, the voice.
Yep.
It's trying to.
We always surrender to that voice.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
No matter what. Eh? It's easy. It's our go-to.
Yeah.
That's what we do. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
And that's with anything.
I've got that voice, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always constantly telling me, "It's alright, just have one burger and then do it tomorrow."
Yeah. Yeah. Is that with work
Eat
as well?
this.
Is it with work and other things that you have to do for work? Oh, tomorrow. Or are you pretty good? You're pretty strong and.
Nah, I'm pretty strong with work. And
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah. Like if I need to get some stuff out, I'll get it out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just health.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
It's the health. I know. You know.
Yeah.
I know I'm unhealthy. I know what I need to do.
But just that initial start,
But
that
it's that-
mindset.
It's that voice saying, "Do it tomorrow."
Yeah.
But the voice saying, "Do it tomorrow" every day. So I'm never gonna.
I remember a couple of
You'll get there.
podcasts.
So you'll get there. You'll get there.
Couple of podcasts ago, remember we were talking about motivation or whatever, and I told you, like, you've already done it before. You've lost the weight, so you already know what to do.
Yeah, but but that's the problem. You already know what to do, but you just don't do it. Something needs to tell you to do it.
Was it because it was hard the first time?
No, I don't know why it wasn't hard. It might have been, but I just can't remember if it was. But I know I did it for a whole year.
Yep. And
So-
what were you getting from Tank?
Or just the one with the kale.
Oh, okay.
Whatever had
Was
kale.
it,
I tried on kale.
Cabrini green or something like that. Gorilla green or something.
like that.
Yeah,
Something
nice.
like that. Yeah.
But you enjoyed those. You enjoyed the walking and you enjoyed that, eh?
I enjoyed the walking.
Yep.
I didn't enjoy the tank, but I just knew I needed to have it.
Yeah.
You know?
And what were your one meals? What were they? Big meals?
It was like steak and veg,
Oh, okay.
like meat and veg.
Yeah. And that will last you to the next day?
I mean, it was boring because it was the same thing.
Was anyone else on that same path as you or just you?
Nah, just me. Like, I just thought to myself, I'd just do it. But that was before my injury, so I was running as well. I
right.
ended up running at the end of maybe the last 4 months of that year. I started running. Yeah.
20 kgs, man.
But I know it was slow because I never did like any weights or anything.
Yep.
It was mostly just walking. So it was slow, but
Yep.
yeah, I did get down to maybe a couple of kilos off my goal. But,
Oh, wow. When
but
the
yeah,
new
but
year comes through.
then I
so-
went back up the next year.
Yeah. You got our number, so anytime you need a hand, brother. Even if we have to all get on the same wagon together.
It's funny because we had Jordan on.
Yeah.
We had Jordan on last week, and we spoke about you know that guy, David Goggins,
Yes.
that personal
The
trainer guy.
Baldy, yep. Yeah, the one that's out there, yells and screams, and yep.
Because he's got a book out there, and I never got to read his book. But after that podcast with Jordan, we mentioned him, and I downloaded his book on Audible and I started listening to his book, and man, that's given me some extra motivation there,
Awesome.
like what he has to say, because that guy is hard out there.
Hard out. Yeah, he's
running the-
lifting weights and he's talking to you. He's running and he's talking to you.
desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Because he on his book, because it's I was listening to his book, and he was talking about you look at the mirror tells the truth. If you're fat, you're fat in the mirror. Like, do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like-
Yeah, he's straight to the point. Eh? You might hate it, but he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
He's telling the truth. And he's just, there's another a bodybuilder, Seth. Faroese, I think I was telling you, he's the truth too. He tells it like it is as well. You know, he's just, and he's swearing at you. You don't come off these bullcrap excuses. He's telling you like it is, and you might not like what he says, but it's truthful. It's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
So hey, at the end of the day, it's just you. And you're right. The mirror does not lie. And if you don't like the curves and the edges and the weight that hangs over the belt buckle and, you know, a few things here and there, at the end of the day, who can get you out of it? It's you. Who can make the changes is you. You know, everyone else can support you, but at the end of the day, you got to make the initial. But it's taken me a long time, but it's mental. Once you get upstairs right, and you're focused upstairs, everything else is child's play. I believe anyway. So, but that's cool. You can get some bit of inspiration and encouragement from David Goggins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that guy's, to other people, they might cry when they hear him. Like, he's extreme. But sometimes you need that voice,
Oh, man, some home truths. Nothing wrong with some home truths, you know?
I mean, how do you feel about the world trying to not be offensive to people? You know, that goes against that kind of thing society's heading.
Yeah, hard up.
You know? Like political correctness going around.
Yeah. Cliche, you got to be, hard up. Nah. Nothing wrong with some home truths every now and then because you need it. You need it. I mean, you're blaming everybody else around you, but it's you. Who needs to make the change? Who needs to get up and make, you know?
Yeah.
It's you.
It's taking responsibility, And how do you learn that? How do you, like for you, I know, like, last time you came on, you were talking about doing a mental health course. Like, how was that going? Like, you get into youth work and...
I want to.
Yeah.
Cam, I want to, and it's something that I've always wanted to, especially in our gym, because I see a lot of guys come through our gym and, you know, smiling and happy, and they smash the sessions. But, you know, I want to talk to them and ask a bit deeper. But then at the same time, why should I tell Mans my secrets or how I'm feeling, or, you know? But I want to create a safe space where we can sit down. And it may be that I might have to reveal a little bit about myself in order for everyone to trust me, you know. But I had my best friend tell me that he had a midlife crisis, and I didn't know how to handle that. Here I was thinking, you know, we catch up every now and then, and he's telling me this. But he couldn't. He already told his younger brother, and his younger brother was taking the brunt of it all, making sure that he was okay, and he wasn't affecting himself and thinking about suicidal thoughts. You know, I was, what the hell? That's my responsibility. I'm here also. You tell me. We're the same age. We go through, you know, thick and thin, and it was something that, you know. So it's something that I really want to get into, and I want to talk to people and just let everyone know that I'm here. Talk to me. I don't care. I'll just sit and listen. I don't care. But so many great advocates out there doing awesome things for mental health, especially for men, PI men. I think we mentioned before, Cam, that you know, we were brought up in an area where, hey, don't cry. You know, keep quiet. Don't cry. Don't show. That's weakness. You know, I don't want to see any tears. I'll keep going. You know, finish. You know, and we don't talk about our feelings ever, and that was the upbringing that I had. But now, this day and age, and we mentioned about millennials, and we've got the highest suicidal rate, we've got the highest mental illness rate within our youth and PIs, and there's some great people out there doing some awesome things, you know. So, but I do want to get into that course, Cam, and I feel that I can maybe help one person. If I can help more, then awesome. Just to talk, just sit down and just one guy to another and just sitting down. And if I have to be vulnerable and express myself, then I will, because I've got a few things that everyone's got something in their closet that they don't want to reveal, but it might have to lighten the mood in order for others to express themselves, you know. So
yeah, I like how health and exercise plays a big part with helping with the mental health side of things. Like if you're healthy and you're doing things for yourself when you're training, doing things for your body, getting healthy, it's a big part of that, no? Like you're feeling good.
I don't.
You know,
it releases all the endorphins. You know, they're so true. You feel so much better than when you walked in. You're walking out. You feel so much better. Hit the bag, jump on the bike, go for a run, do some stairs. You feel so much better. Release that negative stress, that negative energy. You know, and exercise is the best medicine.
And that was a big thing John Curran preached,
Yep.
when he was when he did the whole depression awareness, mental health awareness. Like exercising was a big part of the journey of getting to the safe, good place
And you open up the doors. A lot of sportsmen, sportswomen have opened up and come out about their mental issues, which is cool, and that's brave in itself. You hear the lady from the Black Ferns, the hooker that's come out and said about some of the things that she experienced her time in the Black Ferns, which is sad. And I hope it didn't happen, but for you to be picked in the team because you can play the guitar is it's not a pretty good, and to be told that as well. So I don't know. It's two sides to every story, but you want to get into any sports team on your own merits, not just because you're good at playing the instrument or something. So
when it comes to the average New Zealand sports fan and athletes and the criticism fans have to professional sports players, particularly league players or rugby union players, Super Rugby players, because I think, I don't mean to be controversial, but when it comes to mental health on the athlete, how much does the criticism from fan play a part in how they perform or not perform, or if the professionalism calls for you to be strong to handle that kind of thing? I mean, is there a line drawn between athletes and the fan, and what goes on in the media and all that kind of stuff? Are the athletes ignoring it and just moving on, or is it something that the fans can't say these sort of things?
That's a tough one, Cam. I aspired to be a professional athlete myself, and I never quite got there. But I read stories, and I've spoken to a few players, and we mentioned before, New Zealand public are, when you're the flavour of the month, they will get in behind you and support you to the cows come home. But if you're not, then they'll ride you till the next person that's the flavour of the month. But yeah, I reckon athletes will be lying if they say that it didn't play a big part. I believe it does. But then how important is obviously mental toughness, your support crew, your family, your upbringing, your mental and skills coach, just getting in your ear that support, especially for young kids these days. And every athlete has had their day in the sun, and then every athlete has had their day in the slumps, But it's how they pick themselves up, and just having someone around you that has been there before, encourage you, pick you up, and just support you. Because if you leave them by themselves, they're not gonna. Yeah, it'll be an uphill battle from there, and there could be another stat. But yeah, I think if they sit there and tell you, no, it doesn't. That negativeness is not going to play a part of my mental. Of course it will. I believe it will. And it does on us sometimes in life in general, me personally. So just having that good network and that family support around you, I reckon will play a big part. Even the likes of Richie McCaw and Dan Carter, you can't tell me that they've had their, it's always been plain sailing. No way. But yeah, I reckon it will play a big part in them, and how they're shaped and how they're moulded, and you got to learn to tough skin, take it on the chin, and just move forward.
Last time we were on the podcast, you talked about what you guys were doing with Whāpō. Was it?
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah. How's that going? How's that going?
That's on the back burners at the moment. So our group have parted ways. I think my wife wanted to start it at a busy time in everyone's lives. Loved the concept. We got as far as the logo and the groundwork and getting it affiliated government-wise. But we're looking to pick it up in the new year and get some traction again. But everyone's just moved on and busy. New jobs. One of the other guys that was with us, he's started out his own program with mental awareness too, and he's got a foot in Waipareira, Oranga Tamariki, so he's keen for me to jump on that as well. So Whāpō was taking a back seat, but it's something that I'm really keen to build some traction on, because it's something that my wife put together, and we've got 4 or 5 other people on board that want to. So you got a good memory, Cam. Oh man.
I was all recorded, so.
Did your homework. It was nice. So that's where it's at the moment. So it's definitely on the back burners, but it's something that we want to put a bit of effort into next year. So yeah, everyone, it's funny, especially when you get a group of people around. Life just takes over. It's hard to get everyone on the same. And my wife's just full steam ahead, and she just wants to make sure that everyone's on board. But life takes over. And, your own work and your own vision, your own other little mini projects. It's hard to be on the same page. So 2022. Hopefully, if you invite me again the third time, you must be getting sick of me now.
Nah, man. Hopefully, 2022 is smooth sailing. I know the Omicron is, out there and putting some fear in every government around the world.
Yeah.
I know on the news, one came in there and it's an MIQ, or has it gone past it? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that it's a scary thought to think that we've already went past the we're in this traffic light system. It might not happen anymore. We might go back to level 4 again when this Omicron thing comes on. But yeah, it's we spoke about this before we jumped on the mics, but it's that uncertainty that sucks, eh? And you have to feel for people with businesses and trying to make moves and can't. Even with the going overseas, when's that gonna happen? It's like it's unknown, and yeah, it's hard, man. It's so hopefully 2022.
For everybody, especially Aucklanders. I mean, I know the whole country's done it tough, but Aucklanders, no one wants any Aucklanders to travel down to their area, to their community or province, So, I think we spoke about uncertain times and how tough it is on everybody, but just live in the moment and just go for it and take your family with you.
And that's a sort of like resilience we need to have, eh? Like we just got to do what we just got to do it. You just got to adapt to the
exactly. And don't let COVID run your life. Other way around. And of course, wear masks and social distancing here and there. But at the end of the day, you just make sure that your own backyard is clean, your own family's all good, because that's all you can do. You can't control the next person. You can't control the people at the restaurants or at the concerts or the. You can't. So at the end of the day, you just make sure that you're doing all the safety precautions as best as you can, because Because if you let COVID just run, no, we shouldn't do this, no, we shouldn't do that because of this, then it's just having to look over your shoulder. There's no way to live. Having to do, letting COVID run your life, and it prevents you from doing things, and just, who wants to live like that? Yeah, and especially if you've got young family, they need to know that mum and dad they're in control, they're in charge, they're leading the way, because the kids will see you and they'll follow you. So we have to, like you said, resilient, strong, be leaders, adapt, and just move forward as best as you can. Enjoy Christmas and New Year's, and then come back 2022 with a vengeance, with a goal-minded, orientated mind, and just smash it. Coming
back to the rugby scene, like I know Auckland, Counties Manukau, North Harbour got
out of the NPC.
Got out of the NPC because of the COVID thing. Because we're in level 4, level 3. Our borders, Auckland
3,
borders are closed. Yeah. At the end of the club rugby, what happens then with yourself as a coach, and when NPC starts? It's in, like, are you still involved with the scene, or?
Not as much as the reps. No, then that's when I become a fan. Some of the coaches were still asking about players that are still in our ranks, because for other teams that are going around. So Auckland did play a couple of games into the NPC before they got ousted, which was pretty sad. But after our season, if there's nothing going on, if there's no sevens, because they can sevens, there's normally trips overseas, invitational 10s, but all that was knocked on its head. And I think by that time, I've just been burnt out, and you just want to sit back and just enjoy your time and enjoy some good rep footy. And then we mentioned before, you just do all your reviews, your prize giving is at that time as well, and especially how we ended. I just wanted to get it all done, get it over and done with, and then just leave me in my own little hole, and just I'll come out when I'm ready, sort of thing.
Who was that second loss? Was that white medal or not?
The second loss? No, it was Grandma again.
Oh,
So we
okay.
played Grandma in our last round robin. They touched us up down in Mission Bay, and then we played them the following, which was a semi at our grounds, and then they beat us right on full time.
So you know when you're marking on the calendar, white medal, circling that week, is that emotional?
It is, and it's pretty cool too because the lead up. It's funny. So our team is a mixture of South Auckland boys, a few Westies, a few Central, and if we know we're coming up against a team that some of our boys have played before, we really make it a special occasion for them. Because we know that their alliances with us now with Rifles, it wasn't with a Ponies or a PAP or Manukau, but we make it really special for them, and we're going to go out there and we play for him. Although he doesn't want the attention solely on him, it's a team performance,
Yeah.
but still, and the boys are really good. We had 1, 2, 3 Waitemata boys in the Rifles team,
yeah.
so it was special to beat them twice. We beat them once at their grounds and once at home. But outside of that, if Waitemata playing someone else, I always support the Westies, And it's cool too because I've had a hand in some of those boys that have come through the ranks at Waitemata. I know the coaches. I used to coach them myself, let alone play alongside. So, and I always get invited back if any of the... And that's what Waitemata do really well, is celebrate all their Centurions. So anyone that plays 100 games, all the Centurions around wherever you are, we'll come back to the club and we do a massive blazer presentation. So all the Centurions up in one line and they do the walk of, and then they get their jersey from their blazer from the last Centurion. So it's a really special moment. And a lot of clubs look up and go, wow, if there's one thing that Waitemata do really well is is the Centurions and the celebrations around that, which is cool. So it's nice to go back and do that and be a part of that. I think there's 2 players next year that are looking to be Centurions again. So, but yeah, when we play Waitemata, it's always it's no holds barred. No holds barred. So everyone knows that it's a special moment for me and any of the Waitemata boys that are playing in the Rifles team. But other than that, outside of that, I wish Waitemata the best. And I hear behind the scenes that they've recruited really well for next year. And I heard that our space that we had for 9 years is taken up as a new gym and new owners, and they've done it up really well. So it's good. And like I said, I wish them all the best. I'm a Waitemata man through and through. I've had some great times, and the club's been good to me and my family. Some really good people have come through there, but then some really good people have passed over the years. So, and I'll support them no matter what. But I'll get up against the Rifles. It's a different story. So it's good.
That's mean, man. So how can anyone find Maximus Fitness these days, and what are your contacts?
Oh,
so
brother,
they can come and join your team. Lose some
So
weight.
we're on Facebook, brother, and Insta. Avi's got all our details. He's sporting the new hoodie there, and we're based at the Trust at the moment, and then we've got another gym out east, Maximus East. But yeah, Ken, we're quite fortunate to be still running after 9 years. Love what we do, enjoy the new people that we meet, and no one's a stat, no one's a number. Everyone's a friend, and if you enjoy the Maximus atmosphere, then come be a part of the Maximus family. So we're hoping that you'll come in 2022, Cam, sporting your new tops here. But yeah, on Facebook, on Insta, Maximus Fitness, and then all my contact details, all online. Oh man.
Sure, listen.
Yeah, Cam. Awesome. Thank you for the invitation. I've appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. It's cool, and it's something that I aspire to too, Cam. So I'll be. I know I mentioned it the last time, but I'll be picking your brain and doing a couple of PTs over the new year to get these flash microphones and cameras, and that beer fridge too looks good too.
No, it's always a pleasure to have you on the podcast, man. Always have good chats with you, man.
Cheers, I appreciate it. Thanks, Cam. Cheers,
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
So Chris.